Welcome again to the Masterclass, The Art of Emotional Intelligence. This is where we learn how to create a safe space within us. So I'm very excited to do this because this is literally something that is very near to my heart. I do this daily, these tools that I guide you through actually in this masterclass. So I'm very grateful for everybody who is able to have some takeaways and to internalize, to integrate pieces that were very important on my journey. So first, why are you here? What was the reason for you to connect on this call? What are you looking for? And Paul, I'm going to mute you, okay? When you heard, thank you, Urs. Urs said, just to see what you will be talking about in this call. Yeah, it's a bit of different. It's a bit of different than I'm used to do. So I'm very grateful to have this opportunity here. Yeah, Urs has been working with me for the past 1.5 year, right? Or even longer. 1.5 year. Yeah, I think even longer. No, it doesn't matter. All right. So, Paul, did you find us on Meetup? Did you got to see the invitation on YouTube? Was it on Facebook? Was it on Instagram? I'm curious to hear. Almila, thank you so much. I'm on burnout leave and working on listening to my body. Wow. So you're in the right place. Absolutely. This is crucial. I'm very grateful that you actually have that understanding that this is needed. Meetup. Okay. So good. Recently took part in other classes like mind shifting. Okay, good. So this call is about embodiment. Okay. So what I focus on with this call is the very important part, how to understand the situations that you go through on a very deep level. Okay, so we are a body, a mind, and a soul. We also have a heart. Okay, and those four I combine to actually be able to create the life of your dreams. Now, what has this to do? What does this have to do with emotional intelligence? What do you understand uh, under emotional intelligence? Because people have a specific idea. It's not about being nice. It's not about being polite. Do you have any idea about it?
Yes.
Yes, Marie.
I just thought I would say it. It's easier.
Yeah, you can. You can. You know. This is recorded, eh? Okay. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I just thought it's something to do with how you understand people. If you can understand what people are really thinking and how they, what qualities they have, you can see it quickly. That's what I assumed was emotional intelligence.
Yes, and also understanding yourself. Do you agree? First comes understanding yourself, and then you can understand so many other people so much better. Right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's literally to recognize what you go through, really to understand yourself, right? And how you can work through all the emotions that you have in order to steer your life, right? Professionally, privately. All right. So Shivan says, not just becoming aware of our emotions, but also acting out of them. Yes, absolutely. That is what we are going to do actually today here as well, right? For me, this embodiment part that I was one of the two transformations that I guide you through has been extremely crucial in my own process to really keep on being centered when my life was falling apart. Okay. And as we all are human here, I presume, I understand that your life has been falling apart several times already, right? And that we have the feeling that we need to reinvent ourselves. Okay. So this reinvention, the best thing that you can do for yourself is really getting to understand yourself at such a deep level that you operate not from reaction, yet from a response. That you get to understand yourself at such a deep level that you get to understand your loved ones. And that you can also create clarity in your life. Because if you understand what you feel, if you understand that you're not happy in specific situations, if you understand the language of your body, how the body is signaling continuously to you if you're in a situation that is healthy for you or not, imagine what it does for your relationships. Imagine what it does for you personally in your daily life. Imagine what it does for you in your job when you want to be an entrepreneur or professionally. Okay? So that is the clarity that you get from understanding yourself, and that gives you strength. No matter circumstances, it gives you strength. And that for me was crucial. Yeah, for me it was crucial to have that strength because challenges are there. Can you agree that circumstances may be very different from the life that you really want to live? Right? Type me in the chat if that's you. If your circumstances are not fully like you imagined them to be. Right? Do you experience that? Okay, I see you. I see you confirming. Okay, good. Right. Before we start with the practices, first another thing. So this call will be set up in 3 parts. Okay, the first part is the opportunity. The second part will be transformation. And the third part will be ownership. Because that is, in the end, what we are leading to. Okay, that's the ownership of everything that you go through. So about this first part, it's just a short introduction. I also am going to introduce a bit myself more, so you understand why I'm talking about this, why I do this, why I understand this is so crucial, and invite people to help themselves, invite people to help others once they can master this for themselves as well. Good. So, all right, introduction. My name is Sige Nagels. I'm a life coach and transformational mentor. Have I been a life coach my life before? For the whole of my life? No, not at all. Okay. I've been going through a lot of challenges and tribulations. So when I was a young child, when I was about 8, I knew that I wanted to be an architect. So my whole life was very clear, when I grew up, I wanted to be an architect. So when I was at the age that I studied, it was very clear I chose engineering architect because I wanted to have options. So I studied that, I got a degree, and I started working. And in that moment, I really understand that, hey, all my knowledge is just theoretical. I cannot even understand the difference between a drawing on paper and what's built beside it. I cannot even distinguish if it's good or wrong, if it's okay. So I was like, good. I really want to understand how you build. I really want to understand all the technical aspects. Working together with people was something that really spoke to me already from a young age, just building things together. So I decided to work for a general contractor. And a general contractor is a company who creates buildings. Okay, from foundation, soul work to the roof with windows, electricity, everything in it. Okay, so and I love the complexity of all of that. So I really got to understand at a very deep level how you build together with people, right? So for me, the focus was always building together. Now, the challenge that I received from being there was literally I felt lack of honesty, I felt lack of clarity, I felt lack of integrity, and also lack of transparency. So there were a lot of games that were played, a lot of people who were not clear, they had different agendas, and I got a huge burnout. So I thought, okay, let me use that time. So Almila, I totally resonate with what you go through. So I thought, okay, I need some more time, and I felt totally disconnected from myself. Okay, so for years, literally for years, and I rephrase my words, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like there was no connection, right? It was disconnected. Almira, I think you can resonate with that as well. Anyway, that time I used to build my family, really build my family. Um, we we actually moved to Switzerland as well, so I used that time to build actually a new life in Switzerland as well. And I used several years to really get clear on what it is that I truly want. First, after building the family, I got to understand, hey, I need to build myself as well. So I started running marathons to have, okay, after, we have 3 children. So I really wanted to have a fit body again. And so I started to run marathons. And with that, started to listening to audiobooks, really getting into personal development, finding that balance for, my body and my mind. Then I started, we built voluntary organization because I really love to build community. And at some point, it got very clear that my body was signaling again that the marriage I was in was not healthy for me anymore. So I literally had to build my life from scratch. So we decided to divorce. We are still a team, of which I'm extremely grateful. Right? We are still living in Switzerland. You can only do that if you're a team. And I really had to build myself. So how did I do that? I started investing in myself. So first investment was literally, something that I also did was in 2018, I decided that I was a visual artist. Okay. And it took me many years to really do that because I felt like, okay, I have a degree as an architect and I don't have any degree as an artist. And actually, that was my freedom. That was my freedom to create. I wasn't having any limitations, so to speak, to create anything that I wanted from the moment that I allowed myself to create. So I also learned how to be an entrepreneur and to really, have more freedom in life, have more fulfillment with the things that I did. I decided to do that to break patterns, to actually do things that I love. Also, to experience freedom, to be an example to my children, to prioritize yourself. The whole idea of the message of my art was that message. So when I was going through investing in myself later on after my divorce, I invested in Bob Proctor, and he is a master of thinking, how to think into results, how to really use the power of your mind, the power of your subconscious mind. When I was going through these teachings, they were very profound. I really got to understand the power of your subconscious mind at a very deep degree. I was taught how to think. I thought how I knew to think, because of all the things that I was doing before, and I discovered I was not. And to me, it's literally baffling that in this society, with all the knowledge and all the wisdom that we have, at school it is not taught. So once I understood, I was like, hey, this is what I am going to guide people through, because they need to know. They really need to know. For me, it was my way to understand how freedom works. And then when I got deeper into setting goals and really allowing myself to dream big and really giving answers to what I truly, truly wanted, my emotions were in the way. When I was really thinking about being the version that I wanted to be and operate from that, I also stepped into a new relationship. And in that relationship, I felt a lot of fear of rejection and a lot of fear of abandonment. And that was, for me, the piece that was missing, how I could deal with the power of my mind when I was still experiencing these intense emotions. Because those pulled me out of the focus that I had with my mind. So I decided to invest in polarity teachings, and that for me was the key. It brought all of the things together: the power of the body, the power of your emotions, the power of your mind. And this is why I decided, okay, good, I could heal from this fear of abandonment. I could heal from this fear of rejection. And you can see, once you get to understand your blind spots, you will see the pattern is also active on other layers in your life as well. It's not, maybe it can be a focus on your relationships. It can also happen in your job. There are patterns that also show in other areas of your life. Once you understand, like, the biggest lessons that you have to learn here in life. And I also saw there were not too many coaches who were really able to give an answer to how you deal with your emotions on a daily basis, okay? Humans, we are highly emotional creatures. We do so many things from our emotions, and we have to learn how it's supporting us or when it's not supporting us, okay? Good. So, okay. Do you have paper and pen so you can take some notes from what I'm going to share here with you? Because we're going to step into the transformation part. And I'm going to share with you some information that I know is going to be crucial in your journey to understand how to move when you feel like your life is falling apart. Okay. So here we go. Have you heard about the subconscious mind before? You can give me a nod. Okay, great. Also about the conscious mind. So the subconscious mind, you have to understand. The subconscious mind, you have to understand, from the ages 0 to 7, it is a huge sponge. And anything that happens from the ages 0 to 7, with a lot of repetition and a lot of emotion, gets deeply stored in your subconscious mind. So there's two parts of the brain that are responsible for that. At the stem of the brain, that's the amygdala, that's responsible for your emotions. And then we have the hippocampus, that's responsible for the short and long-term memory. What does that do is, your subconscious mind is like a huge database, emotional database. So people say with moments like, hey, I don't have a good memory. So why can that be, that if you think about your childhood, there are situations that you can pick up like that? Okay. So this is how your subconscious mind is really conditioned, with everything that happens, with a lot of repetition and a lot of emotion. From the age of 8, you become a bit more conscious. The subconscious mind is only able to accept, and you with your conscious mind, when that evolves a bit more from that age, you're also able to reject. Now, why is that important? Okay, because that is the way how we're able to steer ourselves. Now, I will go into that later. So the conscious mind is also called the thinking mind. With that mind, you can make decisions, you can focus, you can use your willpower as well. There's so much more. You can reason, you can change perceptions. There's so much more that you can do with your thinking mind. All right. So before we go into the practice, also make sure that you are in an environment that allows you to, or in a room that allows you to be undisturbed. Okay. There's several things that I want to share with you before we step into this exercise, before we step into this tool. The first thing is, I don't want you to judge your emotions. So please write down, don't judge my emotions. I want you to write down that you don't judge your emotions, okay? Now, why is that? Okay, so when you are a child and you were surrounded by the people who take care of you, you went to school, you had grandparents, you had friends of parents of friends, you visited them, people with authority. Those people who surrounded you, mostly, probably all of them, they were not aware how to deal with their emotions. Okay. So when they were carrying those emotions and they surround children, us children being a sponge, what you do is you take on those emotions from other people. So they mirror their emotions onto you and you just take them on and internalize them. Right? So they project them onto you. So this is what I want you to understand, that you may end up with emotions that you don't know where they come from. So this is why I don't want you to judge your emotions also. And there's generational pattern happening. Meaning that it's very clear that we may look like our relatives. On the other hand, what happens as well, in the cells that we have in our genes, there's also emotional prints that are carried by your parents, by your grandparents, and it goes easily back 200 years. Okay? So this is what I want you to understand as well. And also when you're in the womb of your mom, the conditioning already starts there. So everything that your mom feels, you get conditioned by as well. This is how conditioning happens. This is how it works. Okay? So the second thing that I really want you to understand is you cannot rationalize your emotions. You cannot rationalize your emotions. Why do I share that? How many times you feel a specific emotion and you go into your head? You go into your head to solve it. All of the time. I hear you. I see you. The whole society here is focused on using the mind for rational things. It needs to be practical. And also, I love things to be practical, right? Then again, an emotion is not particularly practical, or it's not particularly being able to be rationalized. Okay, so that's the thing. What we are going to learn here as well, what we're going to do is, instead of going into our mind and trying to solve it with a solution, trying to fix it, what we are going to do is we're going to feel it. Because an emotion is there that asks for understanding. There's a reason why you have that emotion, and there's an understanding that comes with it. There's a message that comes with it, a lesson to learn. So it's about lessons to learn. And then the other thing that I want you to understand is that our body is an instrument of the mind. Our body is an instrument of the mind. Can you see for yourself that if you are a shy person that you don't walk up to people and start talking with them? Why do you feel shy? Because in your mind you probably have ideas that you're not good enough, that you don't know enough, that you don't know how to behave, or that you don't feel confident. So whatever is going on in your mind, it will be acted out by the body by a specific behavior. Okay, so thoughts induces feelings, and the feelings set up the body in a specific vibration. And from that vibration, you take action or you don't take action. And this is how you create results in your life. So the body is an instrument of the mind. And then another last thing before we start, and this is so important. And how many of you use a sentence, you make me feel? You make me feel blah, 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 blah. You make me feel angry. Okay. Why is that important? Is it really that way that the other person makes you feel that way? Or is it you being upset, becoming angry, whatever the thing is, because of the situation you are in? You allow yourself to become angry. So I want you to understand what is the responsibility of the emotions that you have is to take ownership of them. Nobody can make you feel a specific way. Nobody can make you think a specific way. I know that's what the media does. I know that's what politicians do. I know that's what people do who try to manipulate you. So I really want you to understand that nobody can ever have that power over you unless you give your power to that person, unless you give your power to that party, unless you give that power to that situation. And I want you to understand that, you're in charge of your power with your thoughts, with your emotions, with your actions, with your behavior. And this is what it's all about. Okay? So you're responsible for your emotions. Good. Questions so far? And then we can step into the first practice.
Hello, sorry, I don't put the photo yet or video, but I'm here, I'm listening, it's so interesting, and thank you very much, this is powerful. So yeah, I guess we go into the how-to, because I would like to know, how do you stop the patterns? How do you stop? Because if you're giving power to others constantly and you catch yourself in that, okay, it's good that you catch yourself, that's the first step.
Yeah.
But what do you do to empower yourself to go the opposite way?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first step is indeed awareness. Oh, and I just, I'm going to press record. I just saw I didn't record. Luckily, I'm screening over YouTube. Okay, so thank you for your question. The thing is, first is awareness. The most important thing is awareness. That's the first step. Then it's literally about you becoming the observer. Okay, and when you become the observer, you can actually have the possibility to accept where you're in or to reject where you're in, and then to steer from that moment what do you really, really want. So that's a whole process in itself. Every step is a whole process in itself. First very thing that we do is we become present. Do you agree there's only now? Every moment again. There's only now this moment. Okay, so when you're feeling fear, it can be that you're in the future or in the past. In this very moment, it's just, you know that everything is okay.
That's true. But then how do you plan for the future?
There's only creation in the present moment. So you can use your thinking mind to plan for in the future. It's how do you allow you to be on the journey to get to that goal, to get to that accomplishment. That's literally the emotional regulation. That's the regulation of your thoughts. That's the regulation of your behavior. Can you see that?
I think so. Keep going.
Awesome. Okay, good. Thank you for your question. All right. So be sure that you're in an environment where people are not able to disturb you. Okay. Good. Okay, so say seat, be seated comfortably. Okay. And I want you to close your eyes. This practice will exist out of 3 important stages. For the whole process, I really ask you to keep your eyes closed and to stay connected with your body. Know that you're safe, know that you're guided. I guide you through the process. And what we do here is we allow ourselves to feel what's happening beneath the surface without going into our head. And that your mind will try to do that, okay? So let's do step by step. All right, so close your eyes. Close your eyes, take a deep inhale. And exhale. Exhale through your mouth. Take another deep inhale. Listen to the sound of your breath. Hold. And exhale. Visualize that your belly button moves towards your spine when you exhale. Take another deep inhale. Hold. And exhale. Exhale as long as you can, because you can take so much more oxygen in with your next inhale. Your cells need that. Take another deep inhale. Hold and exhale. Relax your body, relax your mind, relax your energies. All right. I want you to put your left hand on your abdominal and your right hand on your heart. And before we go into the practice, I really want you to focus on a situation that triggers you, that you don't want to experience anymore. Either it's, you can call it a very familiar emotion. Perhaps it's based upon discussions that you keep on having. Perhaps it's based on the relationships that you're in or a job situation. I want you to choose that emotion that is so big for you. Also, you cannot do this exercise wrong, okay? So pick an emotion that is very familiar to you. All right. Take a deep inhale and exhale. So what I want you to do right now, keep your eyes closed. What I want you to do right now is to bring your attention to this emotion. That you can bring your presence to what is happening beneath the surface. And before we step further in this process, I really want you to tell your body the next sentences. Tell your body, thank you for showing me this emotion. Please say it out loud so your body can feel the vibration. Thank you for showing me this emotion. Then tell your body, I am listening. I am listening. And then tell your body, I am here now. I am here now. And now what we're going to do is we are going to bring our attention back to the emotion. Acknowledge that the emotion is there. And allow yourself, I invite yourself to feel this emotion. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to feel what's happening in your body. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Keep on exhaling through the mouth as you can release parts that come loose. When you feel a high intensified emotion, stay with it as good as you can. When you feel the intensity stays the same, stay with it. Know that you're safe, know that you're guided. You are not reliving it, you are feeling the residue in your body. Be present with what happens in your body. Allow yourself to feel. Really feel. When it feels like you're on a roller coaster, that's great. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel. If you need to cry, cry. If you feel these emotions are too intense, you can lay down on the floor so you can ground yourself. Now I want you to ask your body the next sentence. Ask your body, where am I feeling this in my body? Where am I feeling this in my body? And see what answer you get. Perhaps you feel a lot of pressure on your head, or you feel pressure on your shoulders. Maybe you feel heaviness around your heart. You feel a block on your throat. Perhaps you feel it in your stomach or in your belly. Then take one of your hands, or both, and guide that spot with the warmth of the palm of your hands. This way you can stay easier present with the body. When your mind goes into solving it, no, you drop back in your body. You do that by feeling, really feeling what's happening there. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Take a deep inhale. Keep your eyes closed, you're doing great. And exhale. With your breath, support this process with your breath. If there's parts that you can support by letting go, by releasing, use your breath to get it out of your system, to give it back to the universe, to send it back to Mother Earth. It doesn't belong to you. It never did. You're supporting your body to process, to release. So bring yourself back to the emotion. Bring yourself in the present moment and feel. Give yourself that grace, give yourself that opportunity to really feel what's happening there. Allow yourself to feel. Bring yourself back to your body. You can move the palms of your hands to drop back into your body. You can use your breath to stay present in your body. Listen to the sound of your breath. All right, take a deep inhale and exhale. Now let's ask another question. I want you to ask yourself, is there a feeling underneath? Is there a feeling underneath? Do I feel a feeling underneath? And see what comes up for you. Perhaps you were feeling anger before and you discover there's sadness. Perhaps you felt fear before and you discover there's anger. Perhaps you felt fear before and you feel still the same emotion, the same feeling. That's okay. Bring your awareness to the emotion that's underneath, and if it's the same emotion, then you just stay with the same emotion. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Create space in your body with your breath. Bring yourself to the present with your breath. And now we're going to repeat those sentences that we said in the beginning. You say, thank you, body, for showing me this emotion. Thank you, body, for showing me this emotion. Then you tell your body, I'm listening. I'm listening. And then you tell your body, I am here now. I am here now. And now, I invite you to allow yourself to feel this emotion in your body. Really feel. Step into those waves of intensity, or if it's a tsunami, then just feel the whole. Feel the fullness of it. Know that you're safe, know that you're guided. You're just being present with what the body has stored for us. Allow yourself to feel. Take a deep inhale. As long as you can, hold. And exhale. And let go of bits and pieces that no longer you want to hold on to. You can let go. You know, you can see this as your inner child has been carrying those emotions for you. Because in the moment that it happened, you were not able to deal with those emotions You felt overwhelmed, it was unclear, you had to stay focused, you needed just to use all your energy to move on. And now this inner child is showing you what is still active at a deeper level. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Just like a child showing a drawing, you're present with the drawing and the child. Now the child is showing you that it hurt itself. Imagine it fell with the bike and the child comes to you, runs to you, and cries. You just say present with the child. You don't say stop crying. You say, that must have been extremely painful. So you have the same compassion for yourself. Allow yourself. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. All right, you're doing great. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. We are stepping into the second part of this exercise. And we are going to allow ourselves to feel gratitude for our body. Allow yourself to feel gratitude for your cells, for your breath, for your skin, for your organs, for your muscles, for your tissues, for your skeleton. Allow yourself to feel grateful for everything that the body does without you even thinking, right? When you're sleeping, when you're digesting, when you're moving, all the processes that happen there. Say thank you, body, for doing all of that for me. Even though I'm maybe too much in my head, I thank you for your wisdom, for your healing blueprints. Allow yourself to feel that thankfulness. Also say thank you for seeing, for hearing, for speaking, for touching, for tasting. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Allow yourself to feel that thankfulness, and may a smile appear on your face when you do so. Now we're going to take it one step further. We are also going to thank, beside the breath, we're also going to thank the metaphysical. Thank you for air, for space, for energy, for water, for earth, for fire. Thank you for the moon, the sun, the planets, the universe. Thank you for nature, for the trees. I really want you to feel that thankfulness for the birds, for flowers, for the mountains, for seas, for rivers. Allow yourself to feel. Also say thank you for the roof above your head, for the clothes that you're wearing, for the food in your fridge, for the bed that you're sleeping in. Allow yourself to feel. Really feel the gratitude. Also say thank you for who you are, for your talents, your accomplishment, and also for your challenges, for the people who trigger you, for the lessons to learn, for your growth, for you choosing you, for you committing to yourself, for you prioritizing yourself. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Allow yourself to feel that space in your body when you do this. Allow yourself to smile and really connect. Keep your eyes closed. And now we're going to step into the third phase of this transformation tool. We are going to use our breath. And I want you to visualize a flame at your third eye. So when you inhale, I want you to, the third eye is a spot between your eyebrows. It's a connection to your higher self. The gateway to the universe, your connection, your downloads to the universe come there. And we're going to breathe into the third eye. And we're going to put our focus there. Where you put your focus, you bring your energy. So you create more tension there. So let's take a deep inhale and inhale into your third eye. Allow yourself for this process to happen naturally. Don't force it. Allow yourself to inhale into your third eye. And when you do so, visualize this flame becoming bigger. You may also feel that a tension is built up there. Let's take another deep inhale into the third eye. And perhaps you feel that you're seeing a white light, or perhaps you feel that you're surrounded by light, you're in the light. Take another deep inhale into your third eye. And exhale. Take another deep inhale into your third eye. And build that tension. Feel how the tension is built up. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You're transmuting it. All right, visualize a flame at your heart chakra. When you inhale, I want you to visualize a white light moving into your heart. And when you inhale, I really want you to go into expansion of your heart. As if there's a small explosion that you create in your heart to expand it, to feel that love. And when you exhale, visualize that white light going out of your heart. And you let go of everything that doesn't support you anymore, that doesn't benefit you anymore, that you want to let go of. All right, take a deep inhale into your heart. Feel that love, feel that expansion. Allow yourself to feel that love. And now when you exhale to the mouth and visualize a white light going out of your heart. And you can let go. You give it back to the universe. You give it back to Mother Earth. It doesn't belong to you. It never did. Take another deep inhale into your heart. Visualize that white light. Feel that expansion. Feel that love. Stay there when you can. And exhale. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale into your heart. Really allow yourself to feel that expansion, all the love that's there for your loved ones, for you, for the things you love in life. And exhale. That white light takes out all the dirt that you don't want to have anymore in your life. Let it go. You can give it back to the unified field, to consciousness. All right, take another deep inhale into your heart. Really feel that expansion. Really feel that expansion. And exhale, visualize all that white light taking away the things you're ready to let go of. You're ready to say goodbye to them. Now I want you to visualize a flame at your solar plexus. You can visualize a flame behind your navel as your energy center. And we're going to inhale into your solar plexus. So visualize a flame becoming bigger there. Inhale into your solar plexus. You can put your left hand over your solar plexus and really allow yourself to feel all the energy that gets to be built there when you put your focus there. And exhale. Take another deep inhale into your solar plexus. And feel how the warmth is built up there. Allow yourself to feel that energy. Feel the space that you create with your breath. How the silence got to be so loud. Take another deep inhale into your solar plexus. Visualize that flame. Allow yourself to really become full of that energy. Feel what it does. Take another deep inhale into your solar plexus. You can also still feel the love, you can still feel the space, you can still feel the calm, the balance, the harmony. And exhale. Now we're going to step into the last part of this. Keep your eyes closed. What I want you to do is when we inhale, I want you to inhale through your crown chakra that's on top of your head. I want you to visualize light coming in your head, moving past your third eye, your heart chakra, and your solar plexus. I want you to swirl all that energy that's inside of you. Perhaps you see a lot of white light. You're surrounded by white light. And when we exhale through your root chakra, I want that you send this energy to the center of the earth. So visualize there's roots growing out of your feet. And through those roots, you send the energy to the center of the earth. We are grounding our energies. This is how we nurture ourselves. So take a deep inhale through the crown chakra. Inhale over your third eye, your heart, your solar plexus. Roll that energy like you're making small wind hoses. You're connecting it all together. And when you exhale, send that energy to the center of the earth. Visualize those roots. And let them grow deeper. Take another deep inhale through your crown chakra. Take that breath over your third eye, your heart, into your solar plexus. Swirl it there. Feel that warmth. Feel the energy transmutation. This is you. This is you. Now send it to the center of the earth. Really exhale and visualize your roots growing deeper. The roots grow through soil, through fire, through crystals, through water. Let them grow deeper. And I really want you to visualize going to the center of the earth, and there you're going to grow around the center of the earth. So you can anchor. You can anchor your energies and you can anchor yourself there. So take another deep inhale. Build up the energy. Allow it to swirl. And now send it to the center of the earth. Feel what it does to your body when you ground yourself. Feel how your spine is resurrecting itself. Nurture yourself. Ground yourself. And let go of everything that you're ready to let go of. Give it back to Mother Earth. Feel the relief, feel the presence, feel the power, feel the connection. Let's do that a few more times. All right, take a deep inhale. And exhale. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Take another deep inhale. And exhale. And so all together, take one more deep inhale. And exhale. Let go of everything that you're ready to release. Now slowly, 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 you can come back to where you are, to the room where you are. And you can wiggle your toes and move your fingers. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And take your pen and paper and let's take some notes. So write down what was the emotion that you were feeling, that you connected to. What was that emotion for you? Thank you for being there, Urs. Take care. So what was the emotion that you were feeling? And where did you feel that in your body? Were you able to stay with the emotion? Or was your mind distracting you to go into solving it, having internal conversations? What happened for you? Write it down. And where were you feeling this in your body? When you ask your body if there's a feeling underneath, what came up for you? Did you have Any realizations when you were going through the process? Were you able to be present with the emotion? To bring yourself back? To guide yourself with your hands? Did it move to another part in your body? I give you 1 more minute to write things down. And you can also leave some space to get back to it. Last 10 seconds. And pause right there. So who feels called to share? You can either share in the chat. You can share. Note that this is recorded, okay? Almila, are you open to share? You want to write it in the chat? Because the chat is in the Zoom call. Okay, thank you, Paul, for sharing. So you felt anger at first, and then the feeling underneath was despair. Powerful. Really powerful. And were you able to stay with that emotion? Or was your mind taking you away and starting to have mental conversations? Oh, yeah, great. And where did you feel it in your body? Okay, so you stayed and went into the brain. What do you mean? Like you were drawn to the mind and got back into your body? Everything was cloudy while being angry. Okay. So you felt a lot of heaviness with being angry, a lot of rage, probably, a lot of pressure, a lot of resistance, a lot of irritation, a lot of resentment. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being open to share. And were you also able to create some relief, or was the emotion, did it stay like this one big wall? Or how was that for you? So great that you were able to observe. This is really powerful. Because those emotions are intense, isn't it? Yeah, they are. We're also very familiar to feel them. So they come with a bigger intensity because we're so used to feel those emotions. Okay, so you felt relief. Just a bit, well, you have to see this is this big ball of emotions that you have. And when you do this practice, what you do is just a part of it gets loose. Okay, so this is about, if you have been feeling this emotion for many, many, many times, it's rather a big amount that is stored in the body. Now you just keep on continuing, allowing yourself to feel and to process those emotions. Really make a home for it. Okay, and think of that inner child. It's just asking every time again for your presence. Okay, it's asking for your presence. All right. In the chat, Almira said, I felt abandoned and fear. Yes, I remembered some memories from my childhood. Awesome. So you had some realizations? That's really powerful. See if you can discover a pattern there as well. Okay? If you keep on repeating this exercise, you will definitely are able to ask if there's a pattern and what the pattern is. And then your mind will come up with other situations that are connected to it. Okay. Oh, yeah. So you felt strong resistance. Did you feel fear to feel it? Was that it? But you felt fear to feel it? Yeah. Yeah. So could you also see that you are safe anyway? Right? No? See, this is when you get into your head. Right? When you stay in the body, then you just know that you're allowed to feel. And when you train yourself to have a bit of that comfort, that compassion for you, right? That you can imagine you have your inner child on your lap and you hug it. And then you feel it together with your inner child. Perhaps that's the way how you can help yourself. So you feel it's not on you, you're just doing this for your inner child. Perhaps that's a trick that's going to help you to take that small step moving forward. So train yourself doing that, okay? Allow yourself to really feel that fear, okay? And yeah, so you felt abandonment, yes. Thank you for sharing. Where were you feeling that in your body, Almila? I noticed that my anger was originally coming of being desperate about not being able to understand the situation, as I never went into myself and didn't reflect like I used to do now. Wow, powerful. Yeah. That's a thing, right? We're trying to solve it with the mind. Fix it. And also there's a difference in how men and women feel when they do this emotion. Okay, so when we feel emotions, it actually creates estrogen. Okay, and so for women, it's very familiar to have estrogen in the body. Now, when a man does this, at some point, it's you feel a bit of discomfort because it's you don't feel well anymore to stay in that emotion. In that moment, what you do is you give yourself actually like a constructive judgment as a man, and you assess yourself. Also, women assess themselves. This is why we do then the gratitude and the grounding. What I really want you to do is you assess yourself in, okay, how can I solve that? Do I need to set boundaries? Because women, when they're in a safe relationship or safe environment, they don't need to set boundaries, okay? When you're a man feeling this, going through these emotions, you ask yourself, okay, where do I need to set boundaries for myself or for my loved ones? Okay, this is how you connect with your feelings and then also allow yourself to move forward from it. Okay, so women can stay easily longer there. I will talk about more later of the aspect of polarity. You know, it's I'm talking about women and men here. It's actually more, it's not about gender, it's about femininity and masculinity, okay? And by you doing this practice, you also get very clear this polarity inside of you, you know, the balance of your masculine and feminine energy and what comes with it. So, Paul, the thing that is an answer to your comment is literally repeating this over and over again. So you get so familiar, and then literally saying, "Okay, how can I help myself from the situation?" Mary Jean says, "I felt angry with myself about a thing I struggle with. Then I cried when you said to repeat, 'I'm here now.'" Okay, then you felt some pain in your body. So good that you were using your breath to clear that pain. So powerful. Thank you for sharing. This is literally what breath does. Okay, good. So, Mary Jean, what I recommend you to do is to put your hands there. Okay? Really put your hands there and breathe into that spot. Okay, and also move. Movement is very important to the body because what you do with feeling is this energy in motion. What you do is the body has its stores, and when you feel it can be moved to another location. So when you move, it will help you to get the energy in your body flowing again. Okay, you can dance, you can move, you can jump, you can do short runs, just in your house for 10 meters or 5 meters. Okay, get that movement going and also really breathe into that space. Okay, allow yourself to really create space in that spot that is asking for space. Can you see that? And when you feel your body gets tense, it's literally because you've been holding on. This is about releasing, allowing yourself to release as well. So when we feel tension, we tend to really ball our hands or whatever, like, or to put pressure on ourselves, right? This is where the body creates cortisol. Okay, and that cortisol, is just creating so many the situations in the body. Now, movement allows cortisol to be released. Okay, this is why I tell you to move.
Thank you so much for that. I moved. I did what you said, and it's better now.
Yeah.
And I found that now in my life, I really love dancing.
Okay.
And it's helping me to. It seems like a stupid thing, but
no judgment. No judgment. Okay.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Yeah. If this is an answer to what your body needs, and movement is a very powerful tool. Okay, it creates space in the body, it creates peace in the mind. It's leveling up your energy, your vibrational frequency. It's so important. It's so important. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that, and also that you followed up straight away. All right. Then Amila said, I was imagining that, but it was like trying to connect to my inner child and disconnecting at the same time. Okay, great. Yeah, perhaps for you, that's the first time that we connect here, with our inner child. And when that's the case, there's so much for you to discover there. Again, know that you have that power and know that you can do that. And when you are very familiar with it, you just connect with your inner child without any resistance, right? Your inner child is actually, you around the age of 5 or 6 or 7. Okay, you can connect to younger inner childs and older ones. Okay, but when I say inner child, that's actually what I mean. So if it's easier for you to connect to your inner child when it's 12 years old, then do that. Do it gradually. Connect to yourself when you're 5 years younger. You can do that gradually and see, what is there, right, where this resistance comes from. We all have experiences that are not particularly very comfortable to go to. It's just allowing yourself to feel that compassion and to see that child inside of you that just wants to be heard and seen. Okay, Amila? So write down, it's about, allowing my inner child to be heard and seen. All right. Okay, journaling for me is reflecting. Okay, absolutely. So, what I suggest that we do right now, thank you for sharing all of that, for being vulnerable, to allow yourself to really, yeah, step into understanding your emotions, what it brings. And right now, I suggest that we do just a small break. Let's do a small break for 10 minutes. And so it's in 10 minutes, so it's 28 right now. At 38, we come back and then we step into the second process, okay? The second process is very powerful as well. So if this brings you benefit already, now let's see what the next one brings, okay? All right. See you in 10 minutes. Bye-bye. Welcome to the call. Happy to have you again. All right. I hope you could move a bit, drink some water. When you were hungry, I hope you didn't eat too heavy. Okay. So the second transformation. Do you have your notes still? Because you're going to need it, right? Take notes. There's a lot of information that I will be sharing with you. And this information, this transformation is with the power of your mind, the power of your subconscious mind. So there's a beautiful saying that I discovered lately, and it was, don't ask me what I did, ask me what I thought. And I really love that. I actually never heard it before. I was like, this makes so much sense of training and helping people, because you're so focused on doing, right, when it's actually the power is in your mind. Okay, so what I also say is that this universe is mental. Okay, mental, I mean the power of your mind is such a, so the subconscious mind is responsible for 97% of everything we experience. 96 to 97%. And it has an effect on our health, our wealth, our relationships, and the purpose, our purpose. So also what I love to share with you here is energy is everything, and everything is energy. And I wrote down here a quote by Tesla, because he said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So let me also share this. You are not your thoughts, and you are not your emotions. Have you heard that before? You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. Okay, so what do I mean by that is, well, you are a soul. You're having a temporary experience, temporary physical experience. And we're here to live life for expansion. So what I mean with soul is this fractal of the universe. That is you. So when we have thoughts, when we have feelings, it is because we are in our human aspect. More the feelings than the thoughts. Then again, it's still created by us being human. So I want you to understand that everything starts from thought. Everything that we experience here, like what you see, your screen, the phone where you sit upon, it was once a thought in a person's mind. Can you see that? Everything, right? You had to think it first. First, it was like a fantasy. Then you were creating some sort of idea around it, how you could bring it into reality. You were looking for solutions, you created it, and then boom, it exists. Okay, so when, for instance, Edison, when he came up with the light bulb, he has been contemplating that idea so many times before. So he first was thinking about it for years. You know what? He failed 10,000 times before he was able to do so. And what I really want you to understand this as well is this, when there's a person inventing something, right, playing with the idea in his mind or her mind, what they see is over the scope of time that when there were patents being acknowledged and being provided, when they look back in time, always there's several patents being asked for the same thing. What does that mean? Like, we really tap into this unified field of thoughts that is there. And when you're able to allow yourself to receive the information that is there, you're able to be open to really receive the thought and not pushing it down, or not being distracted, or not doing all the other things to being too busy, all of that, being so caught up in the mind to not even being open to receive those ideas. This is how this works. This is how this works. So I want you to see that I'm actually merging several things together here, because I really want you to understand the power of what you deal with when it comes to the power of your mind. Okay, so I really want you to understand that there's this human aspect to ourselves and this higher aspect to ourselves. So when I say you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, it is because this is an energy that flows through you. I told before, like, energy is not created nor destroyed. It is only transmuted. So what you do is you pick it up, and then you transmute it and you create something with it, right? And when you pick it up, it is a thought. It comes to you as a thought. Then what happens is, you move it into a feeling. Based upon that feeling, you behave a specific way. And then you create a result. So I really want you to understand that thoughts are energy. I really want you to write that down. Thoughts are energy. And based upon a thought that you have, and when you have it regularly, so we have 70,000 thoughts in a day. 70,000. And you can also see for yourself that you don't engage with all of the thoughts that pass through your mind. Okay? With a bit of an overwhelm if that were to be the case. So what thoughts do we pick up is because we are used to think those thoughts, and we have a specific emotional engagement with the thoughts. Okay? So this is really what I want you to understand. Thoughts are energy. It induces an emotion. Emotion is energy. Energy, emotion, that's a feeling. What we also work with is words are energy as well, like written words. I want you to write it down. When you write, it's slowing down the mind. And it's also healing. When you write, it is healing. So, Paul, when you share journaling, for me, is reflecting. Okay? It's actually you're integrating parts that are somewhere in the mind, you bring them together on paper. This is how you create order to the chaos. So it's very important to take time and to journal, to really write it out of your system. So writing is energy as well. Speaking, I want you to understand that your spoken words is also energy. Okay? So spoken words, you can use them as spells. I really want you to understand the power of your spoken word. Because whatever you say, you're actually putting a spell onto that. Meaning, if you say, and I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So when you use the words, I don't, or I cannot, if there's, say, in all this energy field, if there's something that would pick up your vibration, of you saying, I cannot. It's literally like you're saying to the universe, I cannot. And then the universe only says yes. And what it will bring back to you is you not experiencing that. So if you use I cannot, I won't, I don't. So I want you to cross those words out of your vocabulary as good as you can. Because it's showing you where you're actually limiting yourself. Can you see that? When you say I don't, what does it mean? Like you feel perhaps like a victim? Perhaps you feel like there's experiences that you have before that limit you. Perhaps it's because of people tell you something, because it's based upon the culture you live in, that you grew up in. So when you have the words, I don't, change it. I can't change it. So cross I can't, cross I don't. Also the word try. You're not trying, you're doing it. So catch yourself. And the beautiful way to catch yourself is when you're actually speaking to other people. When they're asking how you are and you talk about the situation you're in, catch yourself. See what you're telling them. And in the beginning, when I started to do this, I was fascinated by what came out of my mouth. I was like, wow, do I really think this about myself? Wow, interesting. And then don't go into the judgment, right? Stay into the aspect of, wow, this is interesting. Because if you wouldn't think it on a subconscious level, it wouldn't come out of you as words. You're just voicing that energy, right? You're communicating what is beneath the surface. Can you see that? So I really want you to understand the power of all of that. So when there's a lot of, and I love this one. Okay, several things. I don't listen to the news anymore since 2017. And perhaps it's something that you can consider to do. You know, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you're also still living in the society. So whatever happens at some point, if it's crucial enough, you know about it. Okay, but do you really believe that you need to listen to the news at noon, at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, in the evening, before you go to bed, when you get up? Right? It's all this energy that comes to you because everything is energy. All the words, all the sentences that people say. You know, this is also how advertisement works, right? They repeat the thing over and over again. And then subconsciously, your subconscious mind is always listening. So if you have advertisement that you hear the whole time through, or this TV broadcasting or radio playing, and there's advertisement going, they really want you to hear that because it goes into your subconscious. And then when you have a problem, that, oh yeah, let me go to that because, you know, it's familiar for you to think that way, right? They train yourself to think that way. Also, when it comes to songs, there's so many songs about lack of money, about painful relationships, about all the things that you actually don't want to experience, and you're just singing along with them, and you're just like, okay, you're just repeating all of the lack that you don't want in your life. So what I do with my children is when we have a song that we love to hear, we replace words in those songs. We literally do. I'm very careful what I allow in my subconscious mind, and I want you to become careful too. Okay. Do you have questions so far? Okay, I see one. Thank you, Almila, for anticipating. While journaling, I tend to write negative things to get them out of my system. But this is at the same time self cursing. How to balance this? Okay, I love that question because this is a topic on itself. So, the first thing is to really get things out of your system. Okay, it's about cleansing, it's about clearing out. In your house, when you want to create order, what do? You just open the closets and you take everything out that you don't want to have there anymore. So the first thing that you need to do is literally write it out. And Bob Proctor had a very beautiful practice, and when he had a problem, he wrote everything on the paper. Everything. And then he stood up, he looked at the paper, and then he asked himself, is everything that I feel or everything that I experience, is it on the paper? And then, of course, you always need to be honest to yourself. Then he could see, okay, yeah, there's still some more. And then he started writing more until he really felt like everything is on the paper. Okay, so this is how you get it out of your system. This is literally you transmute that energy that's here and you put it on the paper. Can you see the power of that? Taking time to do so. And there's several ways how you can deal with that. What you wrote on the paper, you can burn it, you can cut it into pieces and throw it away. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many practices that we do to move further with this. So there needs to be space to process. First, you have to become aware what is the thing that is a lower vibration. This is also why we do these making home for your feelings, because if this feeling that is so familiar for you is that too big, it will be a block on your journey to actually go where you want to go. Okay, can you see that? All right. Also, a very few other things that I really want to share with you is when you think about your future, do you use the word I will? Right? You know, creation happens in the present moment. If you've got, please write it down. There's, it's either creation or disintegration. When you're in the past, it's disintegration. When you're in the future, it's, well, when it's negative, it's also disintegration. So when you write things down or when you speak, I will, you can say, I will be rich, okay? Because it's used for affirmations a lot. Okay, what you literally do is using a sentence in a way, because when you say I will be rich, or when you say I am, right? The power of your words is also with I am. Now, if you use I am and you say to affirm things that you really want to embody, you use the sentence I am. Now, if you say I am rich and you feel like, oh, there's a resistance inside of you, then what you do is you move into the thing that feels less resistant to you, that you can feel, okay, I can live with this. Right? So a sentence could be is, I'm learning to be rich. I'm learning to feel rich. And when you feel like I can say that without my subconscious creating resistance, this is how I want you to use those things. The same with I will. Is that a bit clear for you? How you can understand the power of your word, your word? Okay. Let me see what's written here in the chat. This is beautiful. Try to make in big capitals the positive things. Try to teach yourself about journaling by mentioning small or even big lessons you've learned from that day. Thank you for sharing, Paul. There's so many ways how to use your written words to leverage yourself. So many ways. All right. So also when you use things like I will, what you actually do is you tell the universe it's still in the future, right? When you tell the universe I will be rich, and the universe says yes to everything that you think, right? What it will create is like, okay, yeah, you will be rich in the future. So understand the power. Also, imagination is energy. When you use imagination, what you do is you also send it out to the universe. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, so all of these bits and pieces, I really want you to understand that you are so much more powerful than you think you are. And you can start with very small things. Do you think you can do that? Perhaps, you may feel like, okay, I feel a bit overwhelmed because I never thought of this. Well, you have to start somewhere. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I told you to have compassion for yourself. Okay, so write down compassion. Have compassion for yourself. If nobody told you, how could you know? It's with everything. We don't know what we don't know. And the more you know, the more you understand that you don't know. So just start where you are. Allow yourself to receive what is there. Give yourself permission to start. At least give yourself permission to start. I resonate with what you're saying, but doing it takes too much energy. Okay, I love that. Okay, so let's say it takes too much energy. Okay, Almila? What you feel is a bit of resistance, isn't it? All right. So imagine this. You know about this now, okay? This is a thing about self-growth and all of that. Once you know, you know. You can say, okay, I don't want to know, and I go back to my old life. Good. Go back to your old life, and then you experience, man, I really don't feel well. I'm really creating overwhelm for myself in my mind. Oh, my mind is all over the place. What? You step on a train of thought, and when you're there long enough, it feels like the train is going to, bump into a tree. This is how your mind gets into overthinking. And this is what I call drift. You allow yourself to drift. Now, we all have been doing that. I have been doing that for years. Once I knew about this, I was like, man, I really need to become very good at this. Because I don't want to be drifted for years like I was before, or feeling so disconnected, or feeling like powerless, like a victim of my circumstances. So this is you deciding, okay, do I really want to take that responsibility and see myself as the creator that I am? And start small. The most beautiful thing of this whole journey is everything happens with baby steps. Every baby step, how you start walking in this life? When you start walking and you fell down, are you hard on yourself? As a baby, as a child of 1 year old or 1.5, how old you were, you bump your head You cry, you have pain, you say, I don't get up anymore. This is too hard. This is what we do when we get older, right? I know that I was drawing when I was 11 years old, and I thought, this is too difficult. I'm not going to do that anymore. Boom. And I put it aside for 3 years. So Almila, that's a responsibility. If you really want to believe your thoughts, then you can do so. Okay? So once you know, you know.
Yeah, it just takes more time to write down. For me, I think right now the problem is when I think what to do, I just think everything at once.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with starting with small things.
Yeah.
Actually, recently I just heard this from Embodiment almost.
Yeah.
Just something small.
Yeah.
It's just maybe because of burnout symptoms. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Everything just like in the place and
Yes.
doing it.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To figure out a way to start with small things, not overthinking or trying to achieve everything, or solve everything.
Yeah, thank you for really taking me back to how it feels to have a burnout. Because then everything feels like overwhelm. Literally everything, right? The only thing that I could do when I was having a burnout was walk. That's it. I just walked through the day. And then I got home again, and then, okay, what do I need to do? And then that was it, and then I went to bed. It's just being. So if you feel that's where you are right now, then do that.
Yeah, luckily I passed that period, I guess, and I am focusing to figure out the things, the reasons, let's say, how I am back here, or to reconnect with life.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so in order for you to bring some relief, do you know what brings you joy?
That's also a big question for me because things before bringing me out of joy doesn't work right now. So I need to find new things, or I think mainly the focus I put all my energy, the things letting it be or letting things go to not overthink a lot. Yeah, I think most of my energy just I spend on that side, not really.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
trying new things or finding the joy.
Do you have food that you love to eat?
Yeah.
Do you allow yourself to eat it?
I always eat them.
Okay. So what helps for me is I really love to see flowers. I really get happy when I see flowers.
Yeah, actually, I also do that.
Also, so
I have a lot of plants, flowers.
Yes, So can you also be present with the flower or be present with the plant? Can you really watch at it and just look at it and then understanding wow, this is actually amazing, this plant, how it was just a seed and that seed remembers what it is and it grows that way?
Yeah, it was previous me. Normally I super connected with the trees, especially plants. I always into those, but now I feel this disconnection towards everything. And even though I remember how I was feeling and how I was thinking, or I don't know, it just doesn't act as deep as before. Or
okay.
I still can think, but I don't feel that it makes me gives me joy or
okay.
Different.
Yeah, Almila, I suggest that you spend a lot of time in nature.
Yeah.
Just allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be in nature, and if they put pressure on you that you need to get back to work, you cannot force this. I was I think I was at home for 9 months, and I know I felt a lot of pressure when they wrote me oh yeah, you have to come back in 2 weeks. I was like, 2 weeks? What 2 weeks? Can you yeah, but then you can rest and you can come back. It's it really made no sense, right? And then when they said, okay, let's give you 3 months. And then when the 3 months are, you come to the end of the 3 months, I was like so tense. I felt so much fear. Like I thought nobody understood me. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor, his name is Quizquater, a very, very special name. And when I told my story and I was so full of fear, he said, okay, are you ill or is your company ill?
Good question.
Okay. And I was like, wow, finally a person who understands me. So he was at the right spot to help people. And so this is, know that you're guided and protected, even though you can feel so lost. Okay, what is literally what is important in that moment is restoring the connection to yourself. And how you do that, do the things that you love. Even if it makes no sense for the rest of the world, this is about you, this is your life. This is about everything, it's about you. The universe is mental, right? So whatever thoughts you have, and then we still have to release all the feelings that are not ours, right? It's conditioning, it's collective conditioning, it's generational conditioning. You got so familiar to do a specific way, it's all false identity. And you can see that as, what I really love this visualization is every limiting belief is like a wet blanket around yourself. And when you allow yourself to become aware, you can see it, you can observe it. When you make a home for the feelings that connected to it, and you really go to the limiting beliefs that behind it, you can transform that. Right? What you wire together fires together. So you're very familiar because you've been wiring it so many times. So it's like a strong path in your mind, right? It's like a highway. It's like you start walking in a field and there's no way to see, right? There's no path to see. When you repeat walking there, that path the day after you go there, you have to look where you entered it, right? So you repeat it, you go the same road. When you keep on doing that 3 days in a row, okay, oh yeah, here I can see I've been walking here, okay? So, and then you keep on repeating, and what you do is just training. Just like training for a marathon, learning a new language, starting a new job, anything that you do in your life is just repetition. And when you add emotion to it, then you feel joy, right? So this is the beauty of the subconscious mind. The thing is, what I really want you to understand is the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real or imagined. Really write that down. So the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference about when things are real or imagined. And I think you can instinctively feel that already, right? Because otherwise we wouldn't be, having this conversation or being on this call. So, okay, I'm gonna do a small exercise with you, okay? You can close your eyes. And I'm gonna guide you through something very short, okay? Really want you to close your eyes and recall the image of a lemon, okay? You have a lemon, you take it out of the package, or you bought it without package, doesn't matter, and you want to wash it first before you use it, and then you put the lemon on a plate, and you take the knife that you prepared and you cut it. You cut the lemon in half. Now, when you take the half of the lemon and you hold it in front of your nose, what happens? Right? You sense that it's sour, you get a lot of saliva in your mouth. Okay? Now, when you come back to the room, do you have a lemon in front of you? When you open your eyes and you come back to the room, There's no lemon in front of you, and you still have the reactions of the body to the situation. So this is the power of your subconscious mind. And this is why you can use that to your benefit. There's so many practices that you can do to really support yourself to create the situations that you want to experience in your life when you know how to work with the power of the subconscious mind. Okay. So there's a few more things that I really love to share with you. And it's this. And Almila is going to help you as well. So there's a very important quote that the first time I heard it, it really stuck with me. And it's a quote by Buckminster Fuller. And he said, "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." So I want you to understand it's the same amount of energy. Let me give you an example. You're driving your car. And either if you decide to go left or right, can you see it's the same amount of energy that where you're starting from? You either go left, you go right. When you're on a platform with the trains, if you go to the left train or the right train, okay, it gives you another direction. But then again, you know, it's the same, that's the same energy. So it's literally you becoming aware about where you put your focus. Are you focused on what you don't want, or are you focused on what you do want? And in this society, we are so trained to focus on what we don't want. It's going to be presented to you as risk. It's dangerous. People will tell you what they think, what they project, what their experience was. And when you allow that to be, you allow yourself to be small. You don't even see that it's literally, you know, with everything that happens in your life, you know, it's you given permission to that or not. You know, imagine you're in a river, okay, and somebody puts a dam there. And say it's a dam, you know, say when you focus on relationships, you say, okay, like, you know, this person, you were in a relationship and they say no, okay? Now what you can do is you can be distracted by the dam and then stop your life. But understand you're in a river. You can swim along the dam and you can stay in that flow. And understand when that dam is built, right? There's a lot of, the dam is perhaps not, you know, when you have a dam in water and there's resistance over the dam the whole way through and there's no holes into it, you know, at one moment it will explode. And then everything just, whatever you keep on moving, you keep on focused on being in flow, whatever that flow is to you. You know how fun it is to be in a river and to go with the flow, you know, to flow 3 times as fast as you would just stand there or whatever, or, you know, just being in that flow. And then whatever is there for you to be, it will flow to you because you're in that movement of the flow. Can you see that? So really want you to understand that that's our responsibility, you know. Are we allowing ourselves to put everything down because of an experience that we have that is extremely painful. I get it. I totally get it. Just if you can see yourself in that river, understand that how can you support yourself to be in flow? And see that your thoughts are limiting you when you're projecting negative things on you. So all these emotions, that perhaps the dam is too big with specific emotions, okay? So, and you're really held back by it. Well, then, you know what to do. You can feel it. So the dam becomes a bit less and you get into flow again. Can you see that for yourself? Okay? Because I really love to share that with you, but that, you just start where you are. No condemnation, no judgment. It's just like learning a new language. You start with the first words. Are you gonna be hard on yourself that you just only know 2 words when you start a new language? Give yourself permission. This is what I really want you to understand. So when it comes to energy, I really love to share some more about polarity, okay? About masculine and feminine energy.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
So what really stuck with me now over the last couple of sharings is that the subconscious doesn't differentiate between real and imagination. And let's say when we are in a state of being overwhelmed, what I'm curious about is, we're talking about creating that safe space within, where we are not our thoughts, we are not our feelings, we are, So what I'm curious about is how can we use our imagination to build that home, basically, the internal home, because you were an architect, so I don't have the plans, basically, like the plan of do I just work through visually, this is now like the ground, because right now often what it feels like in meditation, it's I'm sitting on a stone. But when I'm sitting on a stone and there is no home around me, basically, then the weather, which I connect to the emotions, it's stormy, it's turbulent, it's this, it can just, kind of pull me over the stone. So how can I basically say, this is the ground, this is the room, this kind of, I'm curious what you...
Thank you for your question. This is a great question. So when it comes to making a home for yourself, it's literally allowing yourself to be present with everything that happens. So when you build that home, you literally allow yourself to start with the first thing, and it's to come to center. Okay, so you're present. And the first thing that you need to be doing is to really observe what's going on beneath the surface. So you observe. And first you need to cleanse and clear out. Because you cannot build a home on a foundation that is not solid. You cannot build when you feel overwhelmed. So it's literally first breaking down what is there that is too big for you right now to build that new home. Okay, so that is the first step that I really want you to understand. Like, how do I cleanse and clear to start actually again? And then when you start actually again, it's literally, okay, you become aware about what it is that you truly, 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 truly want. So I want you to write down that question, what is it that I truly, truly want? And then it's a combination of several things that you do simultaneously. So you first make your foundation, and the foundation is clearing out, becoming your true self. So what this is about is first becoming aware about your blind spots. Because if you have, say, like you build your home on a bubble of air underneath the soil, you see it as a blind spot, you build your home there, it's not going to be stable, right? So what I really want you to understand is, okay, how do I become clear that I'm on solid ground? So really getting to understand yourself at a deeper level is the first step that we do when we are going to build ourselves again. From truth, like, who am I? What do I really, really want in this life? Like, what do I stand for? What is the clarity that I'm seeking? Why am I experiencing this? What is the lesson that I need to learn? What is holding me back? What am I allowing myself to hold me back? That can be your environment. It can be, the relationships where you're in. When it's unhealthy, you first need to cleanse and clear that out a bit before you start to build. You have to prioritize yourself and see that you are the answer that you were looking for. And when you start doing these exercises, what you really do is you build your clarity from within. You find all the answers within. So we are so used to go outside and look for confirmation in our circumstances, or confirmation from other people, like validation, all of that. And what you literally do is you start giving that to yourself in the first place. Everything. The love that you're looking for, the validation that you look for, the wealth, the abundance, everything. So when you step onto this journey, whatever that happens and when you go through, you take the first step. And when you take the first step, the next step will be shown to you. It's like you're literally building a house, and you first start with, taking out some soil, and you put some more things there. And when you take out the soil, you can see if there's still stones or if there's water or whatever that there is, right? And then you can take that away and you can say, okay, this is my foundation. This is where I want to build from. And then you take one action after the other over and over again. So thank you. Is that an answer to your question, Shivan?
It is.
Okay.
So but the actions, basically, when it comes to the connection to also building that internal home, this actions are internal actions through meditation, through contemplation, through just building that space and distance between me and the emotions, me and the circumstances, me and everything, and me and the limitations. Basically, it's first building that space. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes. So you first build that space. So it's literally, you said something very powerful in the first part of your when you took it back to you. So, or your question. So it's literally, you start with what clarity you have for you right now. You start where you can start. If it is the emotions, then you start with the emotions. If it is the thoughts, if it is the behavior that say you have You have a tendency to go to bed late. Okay, actually you need more sleep. So a very important commitment that you can do to yourself is deciding that you are going to go to bed on time. And that is just one action that will have a lot of effect on how you experience yourself through the day, about the clarity of your mind, about how you take actions or which other decisions you make, what you eat, all of that. So you start with one thing that you can start, and then you build it whole. So you build it all. So, we were talking about baby steps. So, a circle is 360 degrees. Okay, so you can see like every day you just take action for 1 degree. And you repeat that over and over and over again. You just start with what you can. You start with the clarity that you have right now. And when you're on the journey, you will discover, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. It's you allowing yourself to come to center to yourself, to do that grounding, to do that, okay, let me breathe, let me create space for myself, let me order my thoughts by writing, let me become aware how I speak, let me observe my behavior in situations that I really don't appreciate myself, to see myself in a specific way, that you can really understand, okay, what can I understand from my behavior? What can I understand in order to move myself, into the next version of myself, so to speak? Where is my expansion? What do I really want? What is the action that I can do? Do I want to have more peace in my life? Okay, can I commit to do breathing exercises? Can I commit to stop a specific friendship that is not healthy for me anymore? If you want to have health, okay, what is the thing that you can do? Can you stop drinking alcohol, or eating fast food, or not going to the gym? What is a commitment that you can do to build that and to build from there? And also, you remind me of something that I actually created. Okay, and it's very powerful. It's a visualization of how I see that I had to build myself from scratch. And I want to share that visualization with you. Is that okay? There's a very short video that I created in order to understand that it's about you, and it's about building a safe space for you where you can come home to. So what that safe space is, that is the thing that you will know. Is it stepping out of a relationship that you have to do so? Is it stopping the job that you feel drained by, then you have to do so? And also, it's literally deciding for yourself, okay, how can I come to this core energy that I can say, okay, this is me. And Almila, I know this is it's not difficult. It's not hard. It's just new. And so if you want to say hard or difficult, it's new. You just have to become familiar doing this. So first, let me share a video with you, how I literally was thinking, okay, what can I do to build myself? What do I need in order to connect with myself again? When there's total disconnection, what am I allowing in my life? What am I tolerating? And what do I not tolerate anymore, any longer? Because it's about honoring yourself and seeing your self-worth in all of this. Your feminine or masculine self-worth, that is also what's going to be raised by you doing these home for your feelings. You can, at some point, understand, okay, why am I tolerating this? If it is discussions, if it is about disrespect, it can be anything. It can be about a person who is jealous in your life. Do you really want to be spending time with that person. Why would you? It's about all these small things. Okay, so let me share this video with you. Thank you so much that your question allowed me to remind this as well. It's very short, okay? It's very short. Let me see how I have to do that here with my screen. Okay. Okay. Do you see my screen? All right. Are you focused? This is very short, okay? Are you ready? All right, let me start playing. So you just start where you can. This is literally what you do. You build yourself from the inside. Okay? You want to see it again, or you saw it? Let's see it one more time. I really love to see it. Okay. Let me stop sharing my screen. So this is really the thing that I want you to understand for yourself. First, you create a space within yourself where you can feel secure, where you can connect to the certainty of things always working out for you when you choose yourself. You cannot literally lose anything in your life. You can only lose yourself. And if you start prioritizing yourself, there's only building. There's only building the new when you're conscious about where you put your energy. Okay? Let's make that old obsolete. We're not fighting it. You're not going to fight with people. No. You take your energy to you and you build yourself with the power of your mind, with the body, with the soul, with the wisdom that is there. And you literally build. Okay? You build yourself up. So this is about taking responsibility to build yourself up. This is about taking ownership. This is about you. Wait a minute, I'm opening the chat again. Okay, I had to close it. Any techniques to do it? Almila, so many techniques.
And what I meant there is the building a safe space, I don't know, in your mind, or I don't know how to create it. So I meditate. I've done many workshops, and I can imagine some space. I feel peaceful, say blah blah, but it's not how you showed right now, literally a space I created. It's always changing, and mostly I think nature is not my own place. It's more being somewhere.
Thank you.
I think I don't really relate what does it mean.
Okay, great. Thank you for your question. I really love it. So you build first by being. You know, we are a human being. We are not human doings. Okay, so first we have to be. First we have to learn to be with ourselves in a way that we can find peace within ourselves. If you're always running from yourself, you're not building, you're escaping. So it's literally going there where you feel there's dissonance. Is it with your thoughts? Is it with your feelings? And when you repeat, this process of repeating these, making a home for your feelings, you're literally cleansing out. You're cleansing out. And a very important part that I needed to learn by doing this is also, to bring yourself in situations where you learn from. So when I was going through this fear of abandonment and fear of rejection, and I was learning this for myself, I allowed myself to be in relationships to really understand, okay, where am I at the spectrum? And then understand myself in such a deep level, okay, this is where I have to work on. And then I started doing that. And of course, I didn't stay in those relationships, okay? It's just okay, where do I start? First with being, and then taking baby steps. So if you are in nature, you are building yourself. You're grounding yourself. This is what you do. You first go into yourself to nurture yourself. You cannot give from an empty cup, so you have to fill your own cup first. And that's what you do with spending time with yourself, disintegrating all of this. So it is the time you spend to focus on building yourself on many layers. Can you see that for you? It's perhaps not an answer that you really want to hear.
Yeah, I don't have actually an answer.
The first most
You're asking me right
no,
now.
no, it's just to hear your thoughts. The first thing that is going to help you tremendously is become the observer.
I think I spend a lot of time to observe myself, analyze what's in my mind or like how I feel. I spend like all my time and energy on that.
Yeah.
I start with taking actions or like make a decision or like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just like losing actually into like my inner world.
Okay, good. So what is very important on this journey is to also have clarity on what it is that you truly, truly want.
Yeah, that's I think what I'm missing. I'm not really putting any focus on that. Like to
see, but this is thank you, because this is how you can redirect yourself. If you have no goal, and for some people the word goal is not very sexy, okay? Because you have to accomplish it, you have to achieve it. That's not actually the true essence of a goal. Okay, the essence of a goal for you is to grow. Who you become on the journey, when you're on the journey to achieve it. If you want to become a public speaker and you want to get on stage, then you have to learn how to speak. You have to learn how to engage. You have to learn what is your posture? What is your energy? How do you behave with the people? What is the story that I'm going to share? What is the model that I'm going to talk about? All of that you learn. So if you're not very clear on, hey, I want to become a public speaker, well, you can do other things, but then, it's not, you're not going to move into the person who you need to be in order to be that public speaker. Can you see that?
Yeah, I think I just don't have that clarity.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for sharing that with me, because it's about what we did, the session that we did on Make a Home for Your Feelings. What you do is you first become aware, okay? You feel it so you can heal it, so the intensity gets down. When you create that space within yourself, you shift into gratitude, you ground yourself, and then you reassess yourself. You assess yourself, you reconnect to your goals. What is it that you truly, truly want? And you direct your focus and energy onto that.
As a next step, actually.
Yeah, so where you put your energy, your focus will grow and results will show. Where you put your energy, that's literally where you create results. So what we do, because it's beautiful to hear from you, what we do is literally stepping into ownership. Like, what do I really, really want in my life? And I help people to get clarity on exactly that. Because if you ask people what they want, they just don't know. You know what other people want for you. No, we go deep into this. So when it comes to all of this masterclass and creating a safe space within yourself is a invitation. That's transformations that I use for me to have grounded myself, to really literally build my foundation from scratch, right? I took out everything that was not me anymore. I had to discover also what was me, just the same process, right? What is me? What do I really want? You connect with that joy and you start from there. And then what we do is literally we go deep into goals, because there's so many projections when it comes to limiting us, when it comes to time, when it comes to money, when it comes to health, when it comes to location, relationships. We first have to become clear about what we truly want. And that is so important.
That's the part I have no idea.
Yeah, Almila. Yeah.
Because I think, like, specifically, I ended up this state because I was questioning everything a lot, and I started to see that, like, actually many things I was like fighting for, or like putting all my energy, like my goals and everything, things I just learned, those are not really me. Actually, first transition started at that moment, and like since then I'm like looking more and then analyzing more, asking more, but the answer getting more foggy, let's say. I can't even see anything.
Yeah. There's always chaos before there's order. If you clean your room, and you clean out your closets, you take everything out of the closets, you create more chaos. And then you create order again. So first the things need to come out.
The fear I'm having right now, that's like creating more chaos in my life.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah. So this is literally what this is all an invitation to, extend all the knowledge that you had, all the wisdom, to work together with me over a period of 11 weeks. So what I offer is a program. It's called your True Core Essence. And what we do is we go to that core of who are you, and what are all the wet blankets? And what you do right now is you're taking off those wet blankets, right? And then you say, what is my goal? Then when there's a lot of wet blankets still, that is the cleansing and the clearing that you do by learning the power of your mind, making a home for your feelings, like understanding, okay, what do I really want in my life? What are my fears, my doubts, and my worries? What is the things that I need to decide in order to allow myself to experience? Is this a direction that I want to go or not? Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's also about self-image. Like, how do you see yourself in your mind, in your subconscious mind? And there's a big part that we work on as well. Because if you say, let me speak something, okay? Let me say something. Say you say, okay, I really believe in people being happy and having a wonderful relationship. And then you catch yourself and say, oh, but that won't for me because my parents, they had a dreadful relationship. So you don't see yourself as a person who can be in a happy relationship. So whatever you try, and the subconscious mind is this self-fulfilling prophecy, it will always recreate those situations to see, you're not a person to be in a happy relationship. And that's just one example of a level where you can hold yourself back. So what we do here with the self-image is we redesign the self-image that is connected to the version of you where you feel fulfilled, where you feel happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And we start working around that, and we start building from there as well, with the imagination, with visualization, with meditation. We spend more time there. We redirect our energy in those areas that we feel is valid for us to put our energy. Is that an answer to your question?
It brings, it's my answer, but it brings more questions, but I don't want to hijack anything. So
yeah. Almila, I invite you to literally step onto this journey and to discover what is there for you, because you say, okay, I don't know, and then if you would know, what would it be? If you would know, what would it be? There's so many questions that we can ask ourselves being on the journey. The power of the mind is amazing. You can ask yourself questions and you can receive answers by knowing how to do so. Your mind has answers for your higher self. Has answers for so many things if you learn how to connect with it. You're not doing this on your own. You're guided and protected, and now it feels like you have to do it alone. So the more you open up your energy, the more people come to you, the more situations will be there. Your energy meets opportunities before you do. Can you write that down? My energy.
Actually, I think even this meetup was something like that. Like today was not really good for me, and randomly I found this and joined like last minute. So indeed, I think I'm just allowing the energy following to me. Let's say.
Yeah, they have a saying. Trying? I'm sorry, you said?
Not trying. I'm connected to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And for all clarity, I call myself a student as well. Okay, because I can be on the journey and still I have my own goals. And I can help people who are on the same journey and they're just right behind me. I can help you. I can guide you. I can give you what helped for me. You can pick it up. You can integrate it and see how you can steer yourself. This I did. I was speaking on a stage in June, and I ended that speech with the words, "I can be a masterpiece and a work in progress." It's like literally that construction site inside of you will actually, in the end, feel like it's always a construction site. You're always building. And then because you change your ideas, you have bigger plans. It's just like you're walking on a mountain and you walk, the first kilometer and you think, wow, this view is amazing. So you take pictures of the view. Then you walk 3 kilometers further and you think like, wow, this is amazing. And then, and every time you do that, right? So every time you walk the journey, you create a different horizon. And every time you think like, wow, this is amazing. And that's what happens with people. They share stories when you surround yourself with people who have bigger visions than you, more money than you, bigger dreams than you, more accomplishments. You pick up their vibration, you receive their ideas, and you internalize them and say, this is what I want. So you've been building this construction site inside of you. What you do is, I put something more here. I do that there. It's always expanding. This is what I mean. This self-growth is always expanding.
I agree.
Okay? So yes, it's about witnessing yourself. It's about observing yourself. Okay, and it's about, that you have the integrity to feel what's holding yourself back. Now you also have the strength to respond in a different way, and that you can build that trust within you, that you can rely upon yourself, that you can become self-reliant, that you can become self-sufficient, that you can become self-sustainable for yourself on the journey. And with all these practices, you're going to build that foundation to allow yourself to be who you truly, truly are. All these wet blankets will go, and you just can be your authentic, unique, true self. What people say won't matter to you anymore. It's not your people. When you're in an environment and it doesn't resonate with you, you just don't go there. You just take care of your own energy. You just build literally where you want to go. So, this is about taking ownership, okay? And I'm respectful of your time. I really desire to share with you this information, to step onto this journey with me, this 11-week journey. And what we do is literally we are going to improve the quality of your life dramatically. When it comes to personal relationships, when it comes to you privately, when it comes to you professionally. Okay, it's about emotional awareness. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about emotional depth. It's about connecting with who you truly, truly are, and allowing yourself to step into that freedom, to step into who you, what is you, who are you, and to embody that on the level of the mind, the body, the soul, and with your heart. So what this is about, these 11 weeks, this is about building that trust within you. Literally, this is about building that trust within you. You are enough, you are whole, and it's literally reconnecting to that essence. So if you feel called to do so, there's what we do in those 11 weeks is literally working on goals. And so we start November 20th. And then we have an introductory call. And then we have 3 calls that are solely focused on goals, Almira, because it's so important. First, it was 7 weeks. I built it to 11 weeks because the goals is literally reconnecting over and over again, going back, reconnecting, going back, reconnecting. So the clarity that you have there needs to be profound. And also, when you have a goal now, that also evolves over time. Your purpose, your mission, your vision can be what you can see right now. And then because it evolves, you will always step into a bigger goal or a more precise goal. It will always become more of who you are. You learn to work with the energies, to pull on the energies and take these actions. So the goal is extremely important. Then we have a break of 3 weeks because it's Christmas. So the last 2 weeks of December, we don't have any calls. And the first week of January, we don't have a call. And then it's literally us about the second stage. So the goal is the first stage. The goals are the first stage. Then we go into the second stage, and that's giving space into that deeper level. So what we do is we can create that deeper space from within. So we make a home for our feelings. We really get to understand how we think. I really want you to understand how we think. So you can use that power of your mind. We understand what it is. We have a thermostat inside of us. We learn to use that. A thermostat is, you set yourself. It's just literally like a plane, okay? When a plane, and you really have to understand this. Almila, this is going to be very helpful for you as well. when a plane goes from A to B, a plane, 80% of the time, a plane is off course. So it course corrects itself to the goal. And that's literally what we do as well. We will be distracted. There will be pitfalls. There will be challenges. It's literally, okay, how do you, when you make a decision, you focus upon it, you will move towards the goal over and over again. You may yourself allow it to drift, and then you catch yourself again. It's like, hey, no, if you know all of this, you cannot drift for such a long time as years of months or weeks even. You just drift for 3 days, and then you think, what am I doing here? I'm just too much in my human, and then you just pick yourself back. And this is what the quality of life that you get by training yourself this way. So this is how we create that safe space and to really build us again. And so it's literally strengthening our core, strengthening trust. And then the last 2 calls, so we end by the end of February, it will be about integration. Integration meaning, you come to it, you move with it, you have questions. What you do is, okay, so growth is like this, okay? So if you can, it's literally for you creating another perception every time again, you become more aware. So what you do, if you take your finger and you are just, making circles anti-clockwise, so to speak, you can do that now, okay? If you want, you can do that now. So you can do that, and you move your finger up, right? And then, your finger is moving counterclockwise. Can you see that? If you look up. Mm-hmm. So the direction changes. And it's literally you changing perspectives of how you can do all of this. Just literally opening your mind by stepping onto this journey. So every time you create new awareness, and from that new awareness, you take new action. Just 1 degree at a time. And you keep on repeating this over and over and over again. In a compassionate way. Getting to understand the patterns. And once you see the patterns, you cannot unsee it. You maybe perhaps, step into it, and then, at some point you really understand, so you catch yourself. So let me share the link with you, how you can be part of the family. It's an invitation for you to step onto this journey and to allow yourself to receive. Okay, I'll share the link with you in the comments. You can click that link. There's also a possibility for you to ask me questions. If you have questions, then please do so. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Meetup as well. In the form, there's a window where you can ask questions. And also when you say, okay, this is what I want to do, then you can become a member of the family and we can start working together. All right. Are you having questions so far? I'm so grateful for you guys and ladies prioritizing yourself. Feel that gratitude for yourself as well. That once you feel like you need help, you go and look for help. Okay? And I really understand it. There's a lot of people who help and then they scratch the surface, okay? I don't do that game. Okay? When I do something, I go deep. I go to the root of my problems. And this is what I want for you as well, that you are guided with wisdom and information that allows you to really go to the root of your problems and to really grow from there. When it comes to the mind, the body, the soul, and the heart. We don't do fluffy things here, okay? That's not my way of doing things. No. Okay? So if this speaks to you, if you feel called, then let's move forward. Let's take that as, okay, let me start and go to the root of my problems. All right. Do you still have questions for now? Then there's nothing left for me to say in this moment. I can go on and on. I'm respectful of your time.
I just want to thank you for your time as well.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Almila. Yeah. You wanted to say something more? I'm sorry.
No, I just said that getting us here, like, just providing this, sharing those information.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I'm very excited to see you on the other side as well.
Yeah, I will check in the.
Yeah. And if you may need a payment plan, and reach out to me. You know, there's possibilities to do so to make it work. You know, the thing is, money doesn't have to be a problem to move forward with something. Okay, so there's always solutions, and we focus on that.
Yeah. Thank
you.
I will reach out to you.
Thank you, Amila. Excited.
Thank you, Sige, for taking the time. I also wanted to appreciate it. What came to me before, because I wanted to share that quickly, just because I was going through a burnout as well, actually, beginning of this year. And I wasn't able to connect to that question, what do I really, really want? I wasn't able to do that, but what helped me personally was to say, how do I want to feel? Actually, more the emotional approach. Let's say, do I want to feel peaceful? Do I want to feel successful? Like, that was basically the anchoring point to get more orientation again and to connect more to my goals. So just wanted to share that quickly, but yeah, appreciate you taking your time and holding the space.
Thank you, Chivan, and also for sharing that with Almila, as it is a big part of that self-image that we recreate. It goes literally from there. How do you feel when you're your best self, right? And then create from there.
Because what do I want? What I connect is, what do I want is so often external.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's like so much connected to external things that maybe fulfill me, but how do I want to feel? There is nothing much more internal than that. So it actually shifts back the perspective, the perception to internal.
Yeah, very beautiful. This feels like a shortcut. It feels like a shortcut. No, this is a shortcut, you know, to start literally from ground zero as well, to make that just a small step. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Shivan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mariana and Paul had to leave. Mariana, do you want to share something?
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. First of all, I want to thank you so much. It was very important for me.
Thank you.
Now I know a lot of things about myself. I would say, for example, that what I feel now, what is troubling me is definitely connected to what I was feeling earlier when I was a child with my parents. And I know a lot of people have problems. They know that they have to work on something, but when they hear, I have to work on this, so well, yeah, now I know this is a problem, well, I have to work on it. This is where we stop. How can we work on, how can we start? What can we do first? But yeah, after this session, after this conference. I
Mm-hmm.
feel much, much better. And again, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's also what Shivan shared, right? How do you want to feel?
Right. Oh, this is a very, very hard question. This is very hard to answer.
Okay. Yeah. Mariana, you can also visualize that you're in the flow, this river. And then, you know, how can you get into flow again, right? The joy, the small things, just that the literally the things that moves the needle is with moments it can feel like the hardest. I get it, especially when we've been stuck for a longer time and we have a lot of resistance about a specific topic. Okay.
Right.
All right, Mariana, you can reach out to me if you have more questions. Okay, I'm happy to help you further.
Sure. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye bye.